My name is Tony Bogan, and you are listening to the Keon Sports Player Spotlight Series, aka Tapped In with Tony. Tonight, we will be speaking to Savontae Quarles. Quarles had an outstanding season for Glenville, helping the Tarblooders to the regional quarterfinals and their first district championship since 2007. Tonight, we're going to be speaking to Quarles about playing basketball at Glenville, as well as on the AAU circuit. Coming up next will be Savontae Quarles. Tonight we're talking with Savontae Quarles. Savontae, welcome to the program.
Nice to be here.
No problem, man. I was following along with some of the highlights from Glenville's basketball season, and you guys really had a great year this year.
Yeah, a lot of people doubted us, so that just made us go harder. So after that Rose loss, we didn't accept nothing else from nobody. We just push harder every day in practice. So that's really helped us.
All right. My first question for you is, how old were you when you first started playing basketball?
I was 4 years old when I started playing basketball.
Okay. Do you have any favorite players growing up?
Mostly Kyrie, but now it's Kyrie still and Sharif Cooper.
Okay, nice. And you played basketball throughout growing up in Cleveland, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And how did playing basketball, I understand that you do play ball over the summer. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. How did that help you as you progress throughout your life?
As I look at it now, it just helped me with so much stuff. If anything happened with my family, anything, I could just play basketball to get over and push myself.
I got you.
So, that's probably my escape from everything.
Gotcha. Because I know Cleveland is rough at times.
Yeah, definitely.
When you first did you start off at Glenville, or did you play at another school prior to it?
No, I started at Glenville my freshman year.
Okay. And did you play varsity your freshman year?
Yeah, I played freshman, JV, and varsity.
Okay. And how was it getting to play under Coach Holt or Coach Atrix? I apologize.
So both of them, it was actually great. So because they saw before me that I had something good going in my life. So they just pushed me through the entire year. They call me, make sure I'm in the gym on weekends, off days, anything. So we had practice, they'd call me and make sure I'm in the gym. First one in, last one out, just getting shots up every day.
Gotcha. And then when the pandemic hit your sophomore year, did you stay at Glenville or did you go to another school? What had happened and how?
So our coaches, they didn't want us to miss a year. So some of our former players was going to be seniors, and I was the only one going to be a junior. Well, three of us went to CCC, one went to Louisville, and one went to Cleveland Heights. So they just helped us get to other schools so we can play.
Gotcha.
They didn't want us to sit out for another year.
That's fully understandable because I know CMSD was one of the only districts that did not play football or basketball during the throes of the pandemic.
They shut everything down for us. And then that was a crazy big part because the group we had, we knew we was going to make it real far. And then that just messed us up, so we had to separate. So that was just hard. Gotcha.
And speaking of which, I believe Glenville made the district championship game the year that your head coach got diagnosed with cancer right before the start of the pandemic.
Yeah, we had we had lost. We lost to Lutheran East in a district championship, and Coach Holt was diagnosed with leukemia.
Ah, gotcha.
So that game, we fought so hard for that game. So I was a sophomore, so I wasn't really ready for varsity. So one of our best guards, Lorenzo, he got hurt in the middle of the game.
Oh man.
He had to go straight to the hospital. So after that, we just fell apart.
Man. Because I know y'all went out to Geneva and play, and Lutheran East is one of the top programs in the area.
Yeah.
All right. And your junior year, how did that go? Did you guys end up playing a lot of games at Central Catholic? Because I know Coach Jordan Duke was there, and I believe I saw Central Catholic against Hoban one of those games.
So, no, we did not play a lot of games. We barely had practice. We had 9 games. Our AD cut most of our games. We were supposed to have 20-some games. He cut most of them. She cut most of them. So we only get to play 9.
Wow.
Our record was 3-6.
Wow. Was it just because of, like, the concerns with COVID spreading and...
Yeah, most likely COVID. And then practice, we had to share the gym with the girls basketball team and the wrestling team. So we barely had practice.
Gotcha. And did you guys play any home games? Because outside of the one game against Hoban, I know that you guys didn't really play a lot.
No, mostly our away games, we didn't have practice. So I say Hoban was the away game, Independence was the away game. I think there was only 2, and the rest was just home games.
Gotcha.
And Lutheran East was the away game.
Okay, gotcha. How was it like during that time period, just playing in front of just a handful of, like, just your parents and just family and stuff like that, as opposed to, like, a student section?
It was okay. It's just like I'm not really used to that stuff.
Okay.
Like, I ain't really know how to feel.
Gotcha. And then things started to become back to normal. You guys are coming back to Glenville. How much time and effort did you guys put in, like, before the season started to, prepare?
So us 3, we already knew, like, we had our plan already to go back to Glenville. So one of the players was supposed to go back to Glenville. He stayed like a whole year to play football. So me and LaShawn went back to Glenville.
Okay.
Then we waited for Raekwon to come, so we all just waited. And then after we got done playing football, all 3 of us was back. We was recruiting other people, and then that's it.
Okay. Because I know Tavarian Sanders played football as well. You say you played football at Glenville?
No, I didn't play. He played.
Okay. Because I know Tavarian played as well. And how was it like? Who was you guys' first game against, and how was it like returning back to Glenville to play? It had been almost 2 years since the last game for CMSD schools.
Our first game was Lutheran East in the class, that little heist tournament.
How'd that go?
That's probably the first game I was ever nervous for in front of all them people. Because I knew how it was my sophomore year when I watched the older guys playing. So, like, it was just a big impact. Like, it was a lot of people, a lot of exposure. Coaches there who didn't even know they was there. Just cameras out. It's just like you have to just play your game and be yourself and let everything come to you.
Exactly. And then moving on, you guys played the Senate schedule. Because I see, looking at you guys played against East Tech. And you guys had games against Brush and John Hay and against Central Catholic, the school you went to last year. I know you guys, who would you say in the Senate is you guys' biggest rivals and why?
We gonna say Rose, because every year they beat us. Every year they beat us. So this is our first year beating them. That was our first year beating them.
Wow.
And plus, they beat us bad twice in a row. They beat us by 40 at our house.
Wow.
And they beat us by 20 at their house. And then we knew we had to play them again in the Senate championship because we already knew we wasn't looking against no other team in the Senate. We already knew that. That was our plan.
Wow.
So we just knew we just had to take on Rose every time, 3 times in a row.
Gotcha. And go ahead. And after that first loss, how was it like in the locker room, and how determined were you guys to
we had all the alumni that played for Glenville there. Like, it was so many people who played for Glenville years ago. So in the locker room after the game, everybody said, like, even of the alumni, they took that as disrespect.
Wow.
They took it as disrespect because we never got beat that bad at Glenville High School.
Wow.
Never got beat. So we just had to carry that loss and just keep pushing harder and harder for that second game.
Gotcha. Understood. And then you guys had the tournament. I know that the Senate is split into the Erie Division and the Lake Division. And you guys ended up playing... Did you guys play like a semifinal before the final? Or was it like you guys, it's just top two teams in like the Erie and the Lake?
Yeah, top two teams in the Erie.
Okay. And if I recall correctly, you guys played after the Cleveland Cavaliers game. How was that like, having to wait for the Cavs game to be over and everybody to clear out for you guys to start?
So it was already frustrating because you had to change in the bathroom, in the public bathroom.
Dang.
So we was about to be late. We was about to be late to warm up. Everybody, like, it was like at least 3,000 people just all in the way. We had to bump to everybody to get downstairs. And then we was warming up. Like, at least another 3,000 people just came down, just rushing down to watch us.
Wow. Because I know you guys weren't even the latest tip-off at the Q. I know that the Erie Division, I believe Collinwood and Lincoln West played their championship game at like 11:15. I believe.
Yeah, they played before us.
Gotcha.
They played the day after.
Gotcha. And how was it like to knock off Rhodes at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse? And I know it was a pretty tight game. What like huge plays were made down the stretch?
So like that was probably, I'd say that's probably the best moment of my entire high school life. Because it's just, we just worked so hard for that day just to beat them. Like, that was just our goal, to beat Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact, so we lost in a Senate championship to a buzzer beater, East Tech, my sophomore year.
Gotcha.
So that was one of my chips on my shoulders. So we came back my senior year. You already knew it was about to be. It's going to be a close game. You have to keep playing, have to play our game, and keep Jamal out of the game.
Gotcha. And Jamal's one of the top players in the area going to UTEP, and that was huge.
It was just amazing because we was up 3 points for a whole entire minute.
Wow. I believe I saw that on the YouTube stream or something like that. I was watching the game a little bit. It was looked like a defensive battle.
Yeah, because like I got a turnover with like 40 seconds left. They had like 2 chances to hit the threes. They both missed. Then you just had to close the game out.
Gotcha.
That was probably the longest minute ever in my life.
And when was the last time prior to that Glenville won the Senate championship? Because I know East Tech, you said East Tech won 2020. Rhodes won it the year before, I believe.
Yeah, so I don't even know. I don't think I wasn't even in high school when they won.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So I already know the last time they won.
Gotcha. And you guys, through the playoffs, you beat Bard Early College. Was that at Glenville, or where was that game at?
Yeah, it was at Glenville.
Gotcha. And they're in your conference, right?
No.
Oh.
They in a different. We got 2 different conferences for the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a blue division and a red division. I'm not really sure. I think we in the blue division.
Okay.
In the red division.
Gotcha. And then the few days later, you guys, looks like you had a nail biter against VASJ. Walk me through that one.
So for me, I'm going to start off with me. That was one of the toughest games I ever played. Because before, like, I say like 2 hours before the game, I had lost my best friend to gun violence.
Oh, man. Sorry to hear that.
So I had to play through that. It was just so hard. And then I just had to let it come to me. Like, all the alumni, like Jamal Ivy was there. He was talking to me. My first high school coach, Rash, was talking to me a lot. Coach B.O. was talking to me. They were just like trying to get me through. And then I finally got through. We just had to close the game out.
Awesome. And who ended up hitting the game-winning shot? Like, what happened the last minute or so of the game?
Honestly, it was like 10 seconds or 10, 15 seconds. Tavarian had the ball. He made a huge play. We didn't expect it. So he was about to go for a layup. So, they came to double team him. He accidentally tripped. He tripped and made a crazy pass to Meme.
Wow.
And then he was up 2 points.
Wow. And this is the second time, because I know in football, Tavarian was on the team for the football team, and they beat VSJ at Baldwin Wallace, so another close...
Yeah, that was a big game for them, too.
And then you guys moved to the Canton District, and you guys played against a pretty solid Talmadge team. I heard that was a pretty close one, too.
Yeah, so we went down there. We just had to elephants.
Gotcha. And then after that, you guys are in the district final against CVCA against highly touted prospect Darren Peterson, who's going to be playing ball at the collegiate level. And you guys came in and you guys jumped out to a 9-0 lead. How big was it to get out to that lead and hold on from there against a very talented CVCA team?
So we already knew he was about to do. He was one of the top specials in the country. Top 100, actually. So it was like, we just had to keep him out the game, and that was pretty tough for us.
Gotcha. And how did it feel to get to, when the clock hit 0? You guys, I believe you had won your first championship district title since 07?
Yeah, 07, so that was crazy. Because after that, LaShawn Beard held him to 20. He didn't score in the third quarter.
Wow.
He held him at 21 points for 8 minutes straight.
Wow.
So that he helped us a lot with that because he one of our best defenders in Glenville. So he helped us a lot.
Gotcha. And then you guys had a game for the ages against Louisville at the Civic Center because I was watching. I know there's gonna be a plug here. Shout out to Courtside Chris for that documentary, which I'll talk to you about in a little bit.
Yeah.
And so talk about that game. I know it was a really close one, down to the wire. Louisville jumped out and had a pretty solid lead with 3 minutes left.
Man, that was another tough game. Cause like we had went overtime. You know how refs be. I can't always blame the refs because we had problems too.
Mm-hmm.
It was just crazy. Like it's just words can't even explain how crazy that game was.
Oh yeah. I heard there was quite a few spirit buses that the whole community came out, and I remember seeing the video where the coach said before tip-off, only thing we got is St. Clair and East 123rd.
Yeah, so we had 3 charter buses for us.
Wow.
So I think at least 100 people was on each bus, so that was like 300 people.
Wow.
So it was our student section against their student section. Mind you, their student section was crazy.
Oh,
they
yeah.
Had face paint. They was just crazy.
Oh, yeah. And that game went down to the wire, too. I know there was a 3-pointer, and then there was a steal and a layup, and then you guys' side went raucous.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Because I know in OT, Louisville pulled away. How big was it? Like, I know Tavarian fouled out. He had been playing with 4 fouls for quite a bit.
Yeah, so Tavarian fouled out. Raekwon fouled out because that's one of our shooters. So he fouled out early. He fouled out like the end of third, the beginning of the fourth.
Gotcha.
And it was just hard playing without Bart because he a big part of the team.
Oh,
so
yeah.
right now it was just main score was just me and LaShawn. So we were just going. We both was just going coast to coast, getting bucket after bucket after bucket.
Gotcha. Because I know there was also to reference that video. There was quite a bit of emotion after the game. It was had to be pretty heartbreaking.
Yeah, because it's like I don't know. I didn't expect to lose. Like we worked so hard for that. We was ready to play St. V. Like that was a big goal to play St. V.
Gotcha.
So like it was just tough for all the seniors.
I imagine it was. Because you guys came back after the COVID year, first district title since '07, and I was talking to your coach after the game. Coach was a cancer survivor from 2020. Because you had been through a lot. Like, you lost your best friend weeks prior.
Yeah, we was doing everything for Coach Hope, man.
Gotcha.
Everything is for him.
Gotcha. And tell me about the Dreams to Reality doc with Courtside Chris. I've saw a couple episodes, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, so Chris, he been asking me to do a documentary for a long time. So when he first started asking me, I didn't want to do it because I had lost another one of my best friends before. I had lost against the St. Joe's game.
Man.
So I had lost two of my friends. So it was just we didn't do it till like 2 months later.
Gotcha. Because I know the documentary, it was a really good one. I believe it chronicled, the first part was how you said you used basketball as a way to escape, and, because like I said, Cleveland, especially the east side, isn't really exactly the best area.
Yeah, because I didn't want to do the documentary because I knew he was going to bring on one of my friends. And it was just tough talking about them on camera. Like, if you look at episode 1, when we talked about it, you can see that I was close to crying.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I appreciate him because, you feel me?
Yep.
People got to know what I went through.
Oh, yeah. And
who I do it for.
Of course. And the next episode, it showed that you were on the AAU circuit in Indianapolis. How'd that tournament go?
Man, that week it was so tough. We was going against top teams, top players that whole week. Mm-hmm. Playing against so many coaches. I never seen that many Division I coaches ever in my life.
Wow.
We played against Georgia. We played in front of Georgia, LSU, VCU, Florida.
Wow.
Everybody.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. How did the competition shape you as a player? And my other question is, what music gets you fired up to play before a game?
Some is a little bit of Lil Baby, probably mostly all his songs, and then one song is
Gotcha.
Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill.
Okay, gotcha. Meek Mill's a very solid artist, I'd say.
Yeah.
And what are your plans for where are you going to be playing college ball?
So a few people already know I'm going to Tri-C for a year.
Okay.
Not because of my grades. My grades is cool. It's just because they have a great coach,
yeah.
Nix. So he got a lot of connections with colleges. So I'm going to go there. He's going to help me get my body right. And he's going to help me wherever I need to go.
Gotcha.
All my goals.
Gotcha. And Tri-C is one of the top JUCO programs, I'd say, in not only the Midwest and the nation, because they've actually won a couple championships.
Yeah, because my Coach B.O. helped me, because I didn't want to go there. I'm going to keep it 100. I didn't want to go there because of the name Tri-C.
Gotcha.
But he was talking to me. He was talking to me saying, like, if I go anywhere else, I'm not going to play my first year. Probably going to redshirt. So, next, he told me, like, you're going to play your first year. I'm going to get you out your first year.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
So all the schools that offered me or recruited me, they 2022 class was full, so I ain't had no spot. So I had no choice.
Oh,
I
yeah.
to really go to JUCO. And prep was really out the question.
Oh, yeah. And the transfer portal is just so crazy and hectic these days.
Yeah, that's one reason, because I was going to commit to Fairmont State. But they didn't know how much my scholarship was going to be. And they was getting people out the portal, so I just knew that was out the question.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Well, definitely best of luck to you as far as that goes. I just want to thank you for coming on and sharing your story. You have any advice for the people, for any up-and-coming basketball players, and not just Glenville, just the area, and all that, and any of that? The floor is yours.
Yeah, so for all the players, upcoming freshmen, whatever, just always play hard. You don't know who watching you. Make sure your body language is right, and just work hard between school and off the court and on the court.
Got it. Hey, Savontae, thank you for coming on to the show.
No problem. Thank you for having me.